Welcome everyone to Topps Daily Grind. We've graduated to a whole new level.
Should we just stay here awkwardly?
Oh, that's the worst idea.
Everybody said bring an expert, and we brought an expert.
You guys got a new intro?
No, we're not doing the podcast no more.
Yeah, you all started out really strong, and then it derailed really quick. I'm like, it's
This is going to be the last time you hear this. No, yeah. Doesn't have quite the same,
Yeah, well, of course it does.
Pretty negative, John.
Really?
Do you think you could have found like any comments that were positive about the podcast?
Well, you guys never do any positive comments.
I do.
Well, your voice is mainly that, all the comments.
Glad you said that, Craig.
Would you rather get your ass probed?
That was pretty positive.
What was that?
No,
more
I
time.
found it. Like I was looking for stuff to put on the soundboard, and that's the new. Would you like your dick jerked? I think it's this one now.
Would you rather get your ass probed?
That's in honor of aliens. That
Yes.
everybody's talking about now.
And today's
Good.
topic.
No, it's not today's topic.
It's not?
No,
That's the topic.
We don't have
at
a
the
topic.
time.
Yes, we do. We actually had some questions from our fans and followers.
why are you speaking like that?
I don't know. We had some fucking questions.
Hi, Dylan.
Hi.
Dylan hasn't joined us.
Dylan's
Are
on
you
the
gonna
show.
switch?
What episode is this?
This is
144.
144.
Hey, welcome everyone.
Dude, look.
This is episode
Dylan looks
144.
well lit.
Oh.
Like, he's not high. I'm just saying there's a light. There's a light behind him. He's well
Like,
lit.
man,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm sitting super low.
There's
So
no
do I,
way.
but that's just because I have a short upper body.
There's
Really?
no way that John is not a pothead,
I don't smoke.
That
Weed.
surprises me too.
right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He looks and sounds like a pothead
It's awesome.
all the time.
Yeah. But anyway, you said we had questions. What's up?
Yes, we have a few questions.
Why are you? Why? Okay. At least you're not using your big boy voice.
So what we're going to do is...
Trying
Yeah.
to sound.
Dude, we got like 100
I'm going to
questions
try
in.
to filter the more important ones, so
Yeah.
bear with me, please.
We got two fucking
These are questions for Craig and anybody that can answer them.
Okay.
First one from our friend Spidey Bro.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to you. Is where is the folder made? And I'm guessing he's referring to the new MSFs, the G and B. Who's going to answer?
So, our MSF 4.0, the first version we did, along with the two new versions, are made by Mazarin Knives in Italy. They've been around for how long, Craig? About 100 years.
No, the first mini Scandi was from 2009.
I think
I'm
he
not
means
talking.
like
I'm talking
Mazarin.
about Mazarin Knives.
Oh, Mazarin,
as a
I don't
company.
know. Yeah, I don't know.
I know our knives haven't been around for 100 years.
Well, I figured you were just exaggerating.
No,
I don't think Mazarin's been around for 100 years. I don't know.
they've been around a long time. But they are made in Italy.
Dude, we're fat as shit.
No, it's because the camera zoomed in.
We didn't smoke anything, by the way.
So John's got you guys zoomed in closer than us?
No, it's just like the table looks normal, and the backdrop looks normal. We just look huge.
We do.
Are you sure?
I mean, I'm not going to comment on that.
Yeah, we're fat as fuck regardless. But I mean,
Can you zoom them in a little bit,
Yeah, I'll zoom in.
Please?
Yeah.
because this looks
What, you want us to look fat?
yeah, or
messed up.
proportional at least. Jeez.
Mazarin's been around since 1960.
Oh, 1960.
Less.
Okay, so I was
Right
off
there,
a
and then
little
tilt the
bit.
camera down a little bit.
So
Tilt the camera
60
down slightly. Right there. Perfect.
60 plus years.
Yeah, there we go. Maybe a little bit less. Less zoom. Sorry, guys, for all you guys listening only. We're doing stuff. Do they look more fat? Yes, at least they look as big as us. There we go. Get back over here. Sorry, guys. It was distracting to me. Even though I shouldn't be looking over there. But anyway, Mazarin.
On
Sorry.
the bright side, Mazarin has not been around since before World War II, so
So it's not fascist.
it's no. It's not like BMW.
Oh.
Mussolini was fascist, right?
Yeah.
Isn't fascism the opposite side of Nazism or Nazis on the
In terms of the political
scale thing?
I think that some people try to put it out that way, but I don't necessarily think so. They're both
Or is it they're so far opposite that they're like close together? Is it like 360? Is it like a
they're
circle?
both pretty authoritarian, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they're
Oh
both.
yeah.
Is fascism socialistic?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I just
Because
know
the
that
Nazi Party was the Nazi Socialist Party. I mean, they were socialists.
I just
but-
know that it's like on the spectrum, it's opposite sides, or maybe they're on the same side.
See, that's the thing. A lot of people nowadays use fascism to describe like right wing, like super right wing stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't think that it ever actually was.
Yeah, we're not getting political. It's
Did
just
you guys see that Joe
this-
Rogan?
Where do
from
the terms come from?
The
Yeah.
Joe
Not
Rogan
getting
podcast that said
political.
that Hitler
Political.
might be in Argentina.
That's been a rumor for ever.
That's rumored for years.
Have you ever heard of a show called Hunting Hitler?
No.
They talk about that throughout the entire show. It's like 5 seasons or something.
with
It's fucking good.
Tim Kennedy's in it.
It's actually a really good
Yeah.
show.
Is it on Netflix?
No, I think it's on the History Channel,
History
though.
Channel.
So anywhere you can stream stuff from the History Channel, you should be able to watch it.
There's
It's
a-
really good.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
I think,
there's a lot of
Discovery
Nazis.
Plus, if you have
Oh,
that.
probably, yeah. Probably.
There's a new
Plus, yeah.
Egypt show too. It's pretty interesting.
But yeah, there's a ton of Nazis in Argentina and South America.
Yeah, a lot of them fled there. There's rumors that the skeletal remains they found in the bunker where Hitler was supposedly killed were female remains.
That's not a rumor. I think that's confirmed. That's
Yeah.
that's a female.
Yeah, but like so,
That what?
technically they've never recovered.
The supposed remains.
body.
Yeah, the supposed remains that Russia has, I believe, are female.
Really?
Yeah. So a lot of conspiracy
Which
around,
I mean,
around Hitler.
could be that it was his wife because supposedly they both committed suicide, right?
Yes.
But-
according to
But there's also a lot of evidence or possible evidence that they got out. So like this Hunting Hitler show, they jump around kind of from place to place, but they came up with I think 3 plausible ways that he could have escaped the bunker, when for a long time nobody would ever talk about it even being even remotely possible. One, so anytime they built those bunkers, they would have escape routes, and so there would be more than one entrance and exit. One of them goes all the way to an airport. Because were they in Nuremberg? I know that was like the headquarters, but I don't know if that's where. No, it was Berlin, right?
I think it was Berlin.
It was somewhere in Berlin, and there was basically the tunnel goes to the airport, the current airport, but there's a wall now that probably wasn't there at the time. That's one escape route they think that he might have taken. Another one took him, I think, the complete opposite direction to a street that had a whole bunch of trees cut down on either side of the street, and it was wide enough and long enough for a specific type of plane to take off that they would have used. And I believe all of the street lights had also been knocked down or something like that. But they came up with like 3 ways that he could have escaped and kind of like proved all of them plausible. Like this potentially could have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let me read what I what I just read. Maybe I should have Dylan do it because he's got that cool voice.
You want me to read it?
Or maybe I can read it in Dylan's voice. The question of whether... please read it.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
How much of this am I reading?
Till we get tired of listening to it.
Well, okay.
Did you ask him if he can read?
Dylan
He
knows
can
how to
read better than you.
I'm just asking.
John?
Jesus.
The question of whether Hitler's body was recovered is a complex and controversial one. There are many conflicting accounts and theories about what happened to his remains after he committed suicide in his bunker on April 30th, 1945.
That's soothing.
According to the most widely accepted
Allegedly.
versions of the allegedly,
Yeah.
according to the most widely accepted versions of events, Hitler and his wife Eva Braun killed themselves by taking cyanide pills and shooting themselves in the head. That's a bit excessive. Their
Yeah.
bodies were carried outside by their loyal aides and burned with petrol
Of course.
in the garden of the Reich Chancellery. However, the fire did not completely destroy their corpses, and some fragments of bones, teeth, and skull were recovered by the Soviet troops who captured Berlin.
Which are what most forensics use to identify bodies, right? So it's...
Bones and teeth, I guess.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's... yeah. Well, anyway, keep going.
The Soviets kept these remains secret for many years and spread various rumors and misinformation about Hitler's fate. Some Soviet officials claimed that Hitler had escaped and was hiding somewhere, while others said that he had died of poisoning or that his body was not found at all. The Soviets also allegedly captured several people who were suspected of being Hitler's doubles or lookalikes and interrogated them to find out more about the Nazi leader's whereabouts. It was not until 1993 that the Russian government revealed that they had some pieces of Hitler's skull and jawbone in their possession and allowed some Western experts to examine them.
And I think that's where they
So
found them to be female, isn't it?
listen to this.
However, this evidence is not conclusive, as some researchers have challenged the authenticity and accuracy. For example, in 2009, a team of American scientists conducted a DNA analysis of the skull fragment that was supposedly from Hitler and found it belonged to a woman under 40 years old. This raised doubts about whether the Soviets had actually identified Hitler's remains correctly, or whether they had, or whether they had mixed them up with those of other victims of the war. Some historians have also suggested that the Soviets may have destroyed or lost some of the original remains over time, or that they may have fabricated or tampered with some of the evidence to suit their political agenda.
Yeah, so all of that sounds super
Yeah.
super realistic.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
think about it. Anybody over a fucking 50 plus year period is gonna like your like chain of custody on evidence. If it gets moved, if it gets touched, if it gets even just like fucking here, I'm gonna put it here and clean the shelf and then put it back. Like a million things could have happened to those
Yeah.
fragments and got them mixed up.
That's crazy. Didn't his kids like decide not to have kids?
I don't know about that. I don't know anything about that.
I think so.
I just think some of the most interesting stuff from that Hunting Hitler show was they found like full on proof evidence of Nazis in South America. Like I think Argentina is where they found like most of it, but they found them in other countries as well. They found some stuff in one of the Spanish. It's an island that's owned, I think, by Spain. It would have been like a stopping point from leaving Germany and then over to South America.
Like a refuel point kind of
Yeah,
thing?
basically that kind of thing. They found some crazy shit. The thing that I think was the most interesting is there's a lake in Argentina. There's a city on one side, and then going around another side, there's a thing that they were building that looked like it was built to make weapons. Mm-hmm. And then around clear the opposite side of that lake, there's a house that they think either belonged to Hitler or some other really high-ranking Nazi guy. And on the way to that, on the lake, because there's no roads to it, the only way to it is boat. Mm. And on the way to it, there's like guard towers, like gun nests, basically. Mm. And all of it is built and kind of like reminiscent of the way that the Nazis built everything. Like the house itself has an underground thing that they found by flying a drone over it. They found a vent pipe that looks exactly like the kind of vent pipes they used on all their bunkers and things like that. Like crazy shit. And I guess they tried to get permission to look at the house, and the owners wouldn't give it. Mm-hmm. So they went anyway, and I think Tim Kennedy, he gets out of the boat and he got almost onto the land or near the land, and somebody came over and was I don't remember all the details, but that whole thing was just wild.
It's not it's not far fetched.
It's
not
really
at all.
not,
and it's really it wouldn't be that complicated to.
They found evidence of records.
Fake like now it would be harder. But
Yeah, with all the facial recognition and stuff like that.
Yeah, but back
Yeah,
then,
CCTV and yeah.
They found records in like different places of Nazis like having their names changed and then moving. And like I think they found some of the high-ranking guys. I think they found Mengele in Argentina. Maybe it wasn't
you
him.
know who that is?
I'm guessing a high-ranking official.
Good guess.
Good job.
Thank you.
But I think they found a few other like pretty high-ranking guys under aliases, either that had already passed away or like I think one of them they found and took back and tried as an old guy.
Damn.
Yeah, that show's wild. It's really cool. If you get a chance to watch it, you should.
Yeah, I really want to because I like that kind of history.
I binge watched that whole thing in like a month or so, and it was several seasons.
Jeez.
Yeah,
even going to Nuremberg, like seeing and the actual building where they held all the Nuremberg trials,
the meeting house,
and where Hitler gave one of his most famous speeches, and we went and toured one of the concentration camps, Dachau. You want to talk about a somber, humbling experience? Like, holy shit, it was insane.
Dude, I think the closest I've had, and it's not even comparable, is like the old Idaho Penitentiary. Like, you walk in that place and you can just feel like everything was like, all souls were like just sucked out of people.
The one in Boise?
Yeah. You walk in there and like there's no like, I don't know. Like, even though like maybe apparently people did get hung there, right? At least
probably. I mean,
I'm sure.
the death penalty was a thing.
Yeah, but
They
you
probably got hung and shot.
You still walk in there and you like there's no
hope.
Yeah, there you go. And it's a weird feeling.
No feeling of hope.
Yeah.
And what was very interesting about Dachau is, so they I don't know why. I mean, may have been elements or just over time, things being dilapidated. But there's one bunkhouse out of all the ones that were there. All the foundations are gravel squares, but there's one still intact. But everything else is there. And in Germany, they actually take elementary school kids on field trips as a requirement to these concentration camps.
Yeah, they don't mess around with that shit.
They
in Germany, huh?
They approach it the right way. They like the meeting house is still there. The courthouse where they did the Nuremberg trials is still operational.
Yeah.
And then on the weekends it's a museum. And then pretty much all of those concentration camps, they keep them. They not it's not like, statues from the Civil War. It's like, hey, this happened and we should never ever ever do this again.
Yeah. Good, bad, or ugly. This is our past.
Yeah.
They remember it, and I think that's cool.
Embrace. I don't know if that's quite the right word, but they learn from it.
It's like a reminder.
It's a reminder, like, hey, this shit actually happened, and there's no denying it. You can't ignore the fact. I mean, there's still fucking bullet holes
in the
walls where they would execute people.
Yeah.
I mean, it was intense.
Are all concentration camps open to the public, or are there some that are like you can't go there?
I don't know.
Can't speak
That's a good
to
question.
that. Yeah.
Dachau was the first, and they patterned pretty much all the rest of them off of Dachau. There were some where they didn't necessarily kill people, but most of them they did. But yeah, Dachau was the first.
The shower room.
But I think Auschwitz
Still there.
Oh, that was
locked up.
We walked into that room, dude.
Yeah, you walked through it on the tour.
The showers? Or
yeah, the showers is where they were gas chambers.
They were told they were going in to take a shower, and it was just a big tile room about this size.
Just a bunch of nozzles in the ceiling.
Yep, almost like a fire extinguishers in a building, and some sprinkler heads.
Sometimes they'd get a shower, and sometimes they'd get gassed.
Yeah, fucking crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, they patterned a lot of that off of Dachau. But I think Auschwitz was where they killed the most, if I remember right.
Yeah, that's the most known for.
Is that movie, The Boy with Striped Pajamas, is that factual, or is that just...
I don't know if that's based on a true story or not. But
I don't think it is, but I'm sure something similar happened.
The background of the movie is fairly realistic, I believe, as far as like...
Did you ever watch Schindler's List? I never did.
It's been
a long
years.
time ago.
Yeah.
In high school, actually, I watched
did.
it.
What's it called?
Schindler's List.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. Folders are made in.
They're made in Italy, and they were probably and they came after World War II, so they were not.
When I was in school in Texas, they do the whole paperclip. You send and donate the paper clips because they fill in those like carts, the train carts that they would transport the people to these concentration camps, and the school actually takes you on a field trip to at the time it was a, I just lost the word, survivor, someone that was in the concentration camps. I totally spaced the name. like a survivor from
A Holocaust,
Holocaust
survivor.
survivor. That's exactly what it is. At the time she was one of the few. Well, I guess I don't know how many are left now.
Not a lot.
But she comes and speaks. But she was really really old, and then they have a translator with her. But that's the most. I guess like in schools here, it's very vague what they teach you or what happened. I guess.
It sounds like it has gotten like,
Vaguer.
yeah, yeah. I mean, when I was in school, it was a big part of history that we took in kind of all through junior high and high school. Like,
Yeah.
it talked about the Holocaust and World War II quite
Have
a
you
bit.
seen that show on Netflix, that World War II in color?
I try to watch that.
I've seen
dude.
some of it.
That show's fucking good.
Yeah.
It's just when you're watching it and you think this like actually happened, it's just scary. Like it's that like you see all this like it. I wonder if during when it happened, if you knew the scope of it. Like I don't think most people knew the scope of it.
My understanding, I could be wrong, but my understanding is that they did not.
No.
They did not know about this. They knew that those concentration camps existed, but they didn't know what was happening
Yeah.
until like almost the end of the war. Is if I remember right, that like they knew that it was fucked up. They knew that bad things were happening, but they didn't realize how many people were getting just murdered
Yeah.
wholesale. How many people were just slave labor until they died.
Well, and we had camps here in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of
No.
people don't talk about that too.
Yeah.
Now the same things weren't going on
No.
in the camps here in the U.S. as they were overseas, but we had internment camps, concentration camps, if you will, for
For the
Japanese and Japanese American citizens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know, but apparently Mexico was approached to be on the Axis side, and Mexico said "fuck no."
Really,
And,
I didn't
yeah.
know that.
And they said no, and then they started a huge propaganda campaign against the Nazism and stuff. And then they sent. There's I can't remember what they're called, but there's like a huge monument to them. They were pilots. They sent a few of them, and only 4 died and during combat. But they were able to help with one of the islands in Japan.
Hell yeah.
Oh, right on.
Las Águilas something, Águilas Aztecas or something
So
like
the
that.
U.S.
The Aztec Eagles.
U.S. approached
It's,
Mexico
it's crazy.
to help.
No,
No.
the Axis powers was the other side. It was Germany,
Germany.
Italy,
Oh.
Japan. I don't know who else. Poland, I think.
The bad guys.
Poke on your neighbors then.
Yeah, and there's I believe that some of the theories out there is that Germany didn't give a shit about Japan, but they knew that they could convince Japan to attack us and that we would be occupied with Japan, so that they could keep doing what they were doing.
Yeah. The diversion.
Yeah.
See, check this out. The Aztec Eagles, or Escuadron 201, were Mexico's only military unit to fight outside the country's borders in World War II. They were invited by the U.S. to join the war against Japan after the attack on Pearl Harbor. They trained in Texas and flew Republic Thunderbolt fighter aircraft. They were attached to the 58th Fighter Group of the U.S. Army Air Forces and carried out tactical air support missions over Luzon and Formosa in the summer of 1945. They flew 795 combat sorties and accumulated nearly 2,000 hours of combat flying and lost 7 pilots.
Damn, that's impressive.
Yeah.
A lot of fighter pilots and bomber pilots, or bomber crews especially, I don't think they had very long lifespans. In the
No,
war.
they didn't. So bomber crews. There's actually a teacher that taught here in Idaho Falls. He writes books on World War II, and he's a huge history buff. And he, Rob, I'll think of his name, but he actually like travels to other countries and like does his research in person and interviews these people. And but he wrote this book on World War II bombers, and like their quota was 25 air missions. After 25, you were done. Come home, and it wasn't that often
You'd hit that number.
that you would ever come close to hitting that 25 mission mark.
Damn.
Gosh, I'll think of his name. But local guy, he was a teacher at IF High School. I've read a few of his books.
Yeah, there's some crazy stuff that you don't really hear about.
Do you think
Sometimes it's like better not to, just because.
Yeah,
Do you think the Iraq War will be something like in our history books, like in the future?
of course. It is already.
Is
It's
it?
the longest running war.
Yeah.
I remember like when I was in history, there was something that wasn't even really touched. That's why I ask. Like, your world history.
Yeah, it's
Like you
everything's
hear about
history.
You hear
It's
about
hard. It's hard to put
9/11.
into a history class if it's still going on.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, do you see what I mean?
Oh yeah, it'll definitely
No,
be in the history books.
It's like I heard, and like I said, I don't know how true this is, but there's this dude talking about the Vietnam War, and he's like, to put into perspective, like how much bombing went on in Vietnam. He said that it's the equivalent of a plane full of bombs every 8 minutes, 24 hours a day for 9 years. That's the
Jesus.
equivalent of how many bombs were dropped in Vietnam. And I'm like, holy fuck.
there was no
Yeah.
other options.
Vietnam is kind of where they changed how wars were fought too. So in World War II, you had a goal. The goal was fucking kill Hitler. Like
Yeah.
get rid of him. Problem solved.
Yeah.
In the Vietnam War,
It was just body count.
it was attrition. It was their metric was if we kill them all, if we just kill all of them, then there's nobody left to fight. And so what would happen is they would go and they would take over an area. They'd get in, they'd murk them all, and then they'd bounce. They'd abandon it like a couple weeks later. And so instead of trying to gain and keep territory and move further and further into like northern Vietnam, they would go into the strongholds, kill them, hold it for a couple weeks or whatever, and then leave. And so it ended up being just a war of attrition.
Yeah, this podcast isn't gonna get pushed at all on YouTube.
You don't think so?
No,
No, probably
We've
not.
said every word that shouldn't be said. The only one that was left is COVID. Oh, there we go.
Done. Thanks,
Well,
Jesus.
if they don't push it because we're talking about like
History.
factual history, then fuck them.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough.
But yeah, the Vietnam War was pretty. The way we fought that was probably not the best. Like,
Is there
if we-
another question?
Yes, one more. One last
There we
one
go.
of war.
What?
One last one for war.
Oh.
And this was for Dylan. If someone asked you, since you served, what was the purpose of this last war, I guess? Because, I mean, did it change purpose over the years? Maybe? Yes? What would you answer? Like, as best as you can.
It's hard to answer that without
So-
getting political.
Yeah, there's a.
maybe a better question is why did you go?
I am more comfortable answering that question.
Okay, yeah.
After the podcast, I will tell you my personal thoughts on why we were in Iraq in the first place. But this podcast probably isn't the place for that.
Okay.
I went, so 9/11 inspired me to join. My great-grandfather was a hero in World War II. You can go to the museum in Rigby and read all about him. 2 Purple Hearts, Silver Star, like decorated man. One of my heroes. So I'd been thinking about the military prior to 9/11. And then 9/11 happened. I watched the news that morning, watched the second plane hit the tower, and knew right then and there I'm joining the military because this is inevitable. Like we're going to be going to war. So the main
You were
reason
17 or 18?
I was 17 at the time. I had to have my parents sign a waiver for me to join. But I went into it knowing that there was a high probability of me being deployed because of what happened. And my personal reasons for joining and going overseas was to ensure my family's freedom, to do my part in fighting for my country and for my family. That's why I did it. Is, you know, you can sit and bitch and moan about things, but unless you step up to try to make a change, it's never going to happen. Now, me as one individual in the entire war effort,
Yeah, but
there's
if,
zero change. But for me personally, to know that I did this, I went overseas, I fought for my family to try to help ensure my nephews and nieces' freedom. You know, I have a granddaughter now. you know, so just knowing that I did my part in that effort, that's what meant the most to me.
Yeah, and that thing about being what is one person gonna do, but you times that by millions of people thinking the same thing, then
Right.
nobody does anything, and then
Right. But there's only 1% of our population that ever joins the military.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you need people to whatever the reason is to do that, because if everybody says, oh well, the next guy will take care of it, then
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, you see that happening a lot today with like car accidents.
People stranded on the side of the road.
Yeah,
Somebody else will stop.
Somebody else will stop, and it seems like in rural places, you don't think the same way.
you might be
But-
the last one. Yeah,
But it's because you might be the last person to drive by. Maybe nobody drives by for another couple hours. In a big ass city, you know that there's a million cars behind you. Somebody's gonna stop.
Yeah.
And so it's easy when you have that volume of people around to be like, the next guy will help him.
yeah.
Okay, next question.
Next question.
Thank you.
So these are questions again. Back to the first question was, where are the folders made?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, 40,
Answered.
40 minutes ago.
Got it.
And then the second best question from King Ping is, will the White Fang ever come back?
I think we've answered this one like multiple
We've
times.
talked about the White Fang, but we never, I guess. I don't know.
Leo has more than once talked about bringing it back. We just haven't pulled the trigger.
I saw that on his wall. It's pretty nice.
So
I really liked it.
to be determined.
And
The main problem is that handle.
Oh.
That handle material is it was paper micarta. It was called antique white. Basically, it was like a slightly yellow color of paper,
Oh, I was
or
gonna
the
say.
glue turned it yellow. I'm not sure, but it looked kind of like ivory. For a long time, that material sold pretty well. Like, we had it on the Cochise, we had it on the Viper Scout for a while, the White Fang, and I think one or two other knives.
Is it my imagination, or was that material like really smooth?
Really smooth.
Like,
Very.
Yep. Slick.
did you have to do something to it to make it like that, or
No, because it's paper instead of fabric. So like linen micarta is actually linen and glue,
Less-
and the
less
paper
coarse.
micarta it's paper and glue.
And
and
what was that one?
The
Antique?
antique white,
Yeah.
it was still paper.
Oh,
It was paper. It was just not, instead of white, it was like off white or like a yellowish.
yeah,
color.
because I was going to say the one
It
that
looked just like ivory.
Didn't you make some micarta ones out of jeans or something?
I one time made like 2 blocks of micarta. I did it in my garage.
Yeah, but what was it out of?
Jeans.
Jeans.
Jeans, and actually, so I made like a black liner out of one of my first polos.
Right? Did you ever do anything with those?
I did one thing so far. I actually have most of that material just sitting there, but I made a handle for that awl that I got from Bushcraft Kelso.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so I mean,
bought one.
basically, I got
you
just
don't want to sell me one.
I did a few layers of the black like polo material, and then jeans on top. And what I did is I just bought the fiberglass resin that you can get at Home Depot. So I didn't buy any like fancy epoxy or 2-part epoxy or anything like that. It was just that fiberglass resin. I poured it into a thing, and I just took the material and just tried to soak each piece, and then like wipe off the excess and just put it in a like a wooden mold that I had made with wax paper to keep it from sticking.
Did you have a?
And then I just had another piece of wood on top and just clamped it all together.
Oh, you didn't have like a press or something, like
Nope.
one of those. What is it? 2-ton. Or
Nope. I just used wood. I just used wood clamps.
So there's
If you could make another one, what would you do different? Because now you've worked here long enough where you kind of know some of the processes, and
I would make a better mold, and probably I would try to use a press instead of just wood clamps. Because what I did is I made just a square mold out of like 2x4 pieces. So I grabbed 2x4s on each side, and then like a thinner piece of wood on the bottom, and I just screwed everything together, and then filled it with like wax paper, and then laid down the pieces, put another piece of wood on top, and clamped it all together. And what I don't like is that some of the pieces kind of like shifted and moved as I was trying to clamp it down, and so instead of the layers being nice and flat, Some of them are kind of wavy or like
Oh, okay.
one side's a little lopsided. That's fine because it'll look cool when I actually do make stuff out of it. But if I wanted to try to make it nice and clean and smooth, I would try to make a better mold. I would probably use like melamine or something like that, and use like a sheathing tape instead of just wooden like a wooden block for it. And then I'd want to use a press.
Is the resin like a special kind of resin for that, or is it just
So what I used was
normal resin?
just the fiberglass resin that you can buy at Home Depot, which they use for like kayaks and surfboards, and it's mainly for like marine type. It's like for boats basically. But I would probably use more like a 2-part epoxy that they use for like in woodworking nowadays for like river tables, and you've seen all those wood and epoxy type projects. I'd probably use that instead of the resin that I did use. But like your micarta companies, they use a phenolic resin. I don't know what phenolic is. I don't know what a phenolic is. I don't know what that means, but they use phenolic resin for micarta. So if I knew what phenolic resin was and I could get it, that's probably what I would use. And then they use a glass epoxy for
You know how to spell that?
G10. Yeah, PHENOLIC.
So there's this guy on. I saw on TikTok and then I watched a video on YouTube. But he did a denim, like a 100% denim desk for someone.
Oh, I saw that too. Yeah,
Yeah.
was it the John Malecki guy? I think it was him.
Did he bend it in like a 90-degree?
Oh, I saw that.
No, the one
Yeah.
that I saw didn't get bent.
So he
And
made
then it was
his
transparent,
slab,
right? At the end.
well, clear, so you could see the denim. Like transparent means that you can see
no.
through.
So you're talking about those are called river tables. So they'll make a flat piece and then cut it and then just make one side is basically like one of the legs.
No, but I'm asking him if he saw the same video that I did.
Probably not.
Because he uses only one board to hold it up. Like it's at an angle like this and then just one board here.
That seems like
I'm not saying
that
timeout.
seems like a
I'm
no.
asking.
He's talking to you, John.
Oh, so
Yeah.
well, I don't know, but it came out like this. The side is the denim. This is the denim, and it just folded, and then he had another piece.
Oh, denim.
Yeah, the denim. He did his mold with his.
It's the same guy. No other guy is going to do that.
You don't know that?
It's the same guy.
I've never seen anybody
Could
make
you
a,
see through the table?
No, because it's denim. That's why I said it's not transparent.
That's why
That's weird then.
So he got sheets of denim, and then he did epoxy, like two-step epoxy. He'd made his mold, and then he took it out, and then he cut out.
he basically made a micarta table, but
And
it was
then,
denim.
which was cool, is that he needed this to bend in a 90, not a perfect 90, but have it bend so the top is flat.
I swear it's
and
the
then
same guy.
It was rounded out.
Probably,
But the guy I saw was clear. Like it
there's
was completely clear.
there's a few different guys that do a lot of big, like really that kind of build is fucking expensive. You're talking like it's gonna cost you $8 to $10 just to make the damn thing, let alone to try to sell it.
Yeah.
But there's one dude named John Malecki. He used to play football and then started doing woodworking. And then there's another one that's pretty popular called Blacktail Studio. But they do a lot of those big ass river tables, big like large builds with really deep pours of epoxy and shit like that.
Is that this one? Oh, okay. Yeah, because
No, see, this guy was bending a whole
yeah.
big ass sheet
Yeah,
of
that's what he did.
epoxy. No,
Yeah.
that's not that one.
But he did the same thing.
He just put it in the sun
Who
and
is that one?
he let it bend.
This one's Blacktail Studio.
Yeah, Blacktail Studios does a lot of that, and then John Malecki does a lot too.
Oh, okay.
They have
John
a style.
Malecki's done a bunch of stuff for
Yeah,
Black
see?
Rifle Coffee.
Yeah, it was the same process, but not that guy.
Oh, okay.
It was a
See, this is the
denim-
one I was talking about.
Oh yeah,
But he
okay.
He did
I think
the
I've
same
seen that video.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, like anybody could make this stuff at their house. Whether it looks good or whether you do it right is a problem, because like the big thing when you put that stuff together is I think the companies that make this professionally, I think they have some kind of vacuum that's pulling as much of the air out as possible, and they've got crazy presses to make sure
Yeah.
that the pressure is nice and tight. I think
there's
some
no
of it they
bubbles
even
and-
heat to cure it.
Is that where you get pitting from if you don't do that right?
Yeah, because basically you'll have some air bubbles that you
It'll be
just
an air
didn't
bubble.
get out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so it checks out. Phenolic resin is a type of synthetic polymer that is made by reacting phenol with formaldehyde. Phenol is an aromatic alcohol derived from benzene, and formaldehyde is a reactive gas derived from methane.
so it's probably not fun to smell that stuff while it's
probably
getting
not.
made.
Yeah, that should burn your fucking nose off.
Yeah.
But I wonder once it's together if it like loses some of its.
Yeah, I mean,
Probably.
it's like once you start grinding on it, you can kind of smell it again too.
So in the lumber industry, that type of resin is used as a binder. In the rubber industry, it's used as a tack enhancer to improve the manufacture of vulcanized products such as tires, hoses, and belts. In the metal industry, it's used as a binder. Same thing. In the coating industry, it's used as a cross-linker in the formulation of coatings for cars, cans, pipes, tanks, and other metal objects.
But yeah, that's the resin that they use for micarta typically. And then
Should I ask where you can get it?
fiberglass is sure. Fiberglass or G10.
Ace Hardware.
G10 is usually a glass epoxy, and I don't know what the difference is between the phenolic and the glass, but I think the phenolic just doesn't hold the fiberglass together as good as glass epoxy does.
So I asked where can I get some in it if it's toxic.
Definitely toxic. Especially
Like-
while it's curing, while you're working with it, it's got to be toxic. I'd be
So-
super surprised if it's not.
So you can get some from different suppliers depending on your needs. Bakelite Synthetics, phenolic resin suppliers, phenolic resin supplier and distributor.
Is that the actual name of the company? Oh, good.
Original.
That's super creative.
I wonder what they sell.
Phenolic resin is made by reacting phenol, blah blah blah, which are
Fentanyl?
both toxic. Let's see. Therefore, should be handled with care.
A lot of resins are like that too. Like a lot of the two-part epoxies that they do for like woodworking, those are bad to smell too. Like they usually what they recommend is when you pour it, you have your not just like a mask but like a respirator, and then just get out and stay out until it cures.
Yeah.
Not all of them though. Some of them nowadays don't have like low VOCs, so they like sell them. One of the selling points is that you can pour it like in your basement and not be too bad.
Yeah. Damn, that's great. Did you get into any hobbies, Dylan? Are you into any hobbies?
Are you like a master woodmaster at home?
No like building type hobbies. I used to play a lot of pool, a lot of 9-ball,
That's
like a lot.
I don't think is that considered a hobby?
yeah.
Of course it is.
Yeah, it's considered anything you do for fun that involves
Golf?
Yeah,
Yeah.
golf is a
now
hobby.
now I golf more. In the wintertime I actually started playing pool again. So
I always wanted a pool table, but they're expensive and
My,
they take up a lot of room. and-
Heavy as fuck.
When
too.
I was
If you get a
in-
good one, yeah.
yeah.
when I was living out in Fayetteville, my roommate and I we took all of our furniture out of the living room, just completely gutted it, and bought this old Valley 7-foot bar table. The bar box is what they call them, from this frat house in Raleigh. We drove up there with a homemade trailer, pulled behind a fucking Suzuki Samurai,
Nice.
trailered this thing home, and then hooked up gambles and winched it into our living room because it was just two of us, and pool tables are heavy, and that
Yeah,
thing had
right.
like 3/4 inch one-piece solid slate.
Damn.
So we winched it into the living room, and we just turned our living room into a fucking pool room.
Did your house have a basement?
Yes.
Damn, watch that thing fucking
Like
just
it-
slam down.
They're pretty resistant, right, to weight like that.
I mean, it never fell through.
So there was this guy that played pool professionally in that subdivision we lived in. He was moving out of a townhome, and he was selling his table everyone for $1,500, a professional one apparently. But it was so expensive for us to pay for someone
To
to
move
pull
it?
it out from there to then put it into ours,
Move
and
it,
level
put it back
out.
together, level it, yeah.
That I can't remember if it was over $3,000 to move it, but I was like, my dad's like, yeah, we're not.
Yeah,
we're
we
not
moved
paying for that.
when I used to work at the warehouse. We moved one from the owner's. He bought a different house, and we had to take one to his basement on the other house, and it took 9 people, and it was still like the part that each person had. It was still heavy.
Still
Yeah.
heavy. Yeah.
But I was in, I played for a league called the APA. It's the biggest amateur pool association league in the world. And at that time, there were over, I think, 7,000 people in the league in the region I was in. And I took league MVP a couple times.
You make any money?
Damn.
Not directly through the league, but
Just being a pool shark?
going
hustling.
to other bars and playing pool. But I mean, there was times I'd go to bars 40, 50 miles away from Fayetteville, and somebody would,
Recognize you.
yeah. So it got really hard to try to hustle anybody.
How good are you still?
I'm pretty decent.
You played him?
We've only played on like shitty tables at Airbnbs, and I don't think I've ever beat him. Like if I did, it was because he
because of the-
scratched on the 8-ball or something.
Because of the table, not because of your skills.
Yeah, it's been probably 15 years since I've really like seriously played like I used to.
So, like in soccer or golf or whatever, like the difference between somebody that's like fairly good and a professional is just insane.
Insane.
Like it's not even close. How is that from like somebody that's like where you were at to a pro? Like
I don't know because I never played anybody that was a pro. There were still people in the APA that I was in that would fucking mop the floor with me.
damn.
I was by far the best, like not even close to the best in that league. I mean, there were guys that would, fucking not even give you a chance at the table,
And they weren't pros.
and they weren't pros.
Fuck.
Yeah, so I was good, by far the best.
Damn. How about you, John?
I'm not good at pool. I'm good at
No.
darts.
John's a woodmaster
Hobbies.
and a chess master.
I don't know, man. I think my only hobby that I could say that I've done before I met cameras is like Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist. That's my fucking hobby, man.
You know
Yeah,
what?
like
That's a
flipping
hobby.
shit?
Yeah.
Like flipping
Yeah.
stuff?
Buying shit, flipping shit.
Absolutely.
I have I don't know. I have like
Yeah, that's a hobby.
an obsession, almost, I guess. Like if you told me right now, like I'm looking for a pool table, and it has to
You'd
be
go
solid
find one.
slate, I will find one. I will send you one when I find it. Like I will find it, and I will send you a bunch of them when I find it. Like that's how I am. Even though like I don't have money to buy shit, but I'm always like seeing shit. Like someone's like, "Oh yeah, I'm looking for this," and then I'm like, "All right, cool, keep an eye out," and I will keep an eye out. And it's happened a lot. Like I don't know.
He has gotten some good deals on stuff.
Yeah, and that's where I remember once when I was younger, my dad said like, "I'm like, why don't you just go and buy?" I forgot what we were buying, but it was something you could have gotten new. He's like, "No, just wait. Opportunity will come, and when it comes, you'll have the money." And then fuck, now Craigslist used to be really big back then. Now it's like fucking just bad.
Have you tried Mercari?
No, I haven't. Facebook Marketplace has been my best one.
Mercari's apparently not that bad either.
Actually, the camera that I have, the one that I before the one I just got, I got it half off in Driggs. So the camera was, I guess, brand new was like $3,800, and I paid $1,600. I found it on Facebook Marketplace. And I can tell what's a scam or not, and most people can. But I messaged the lady, and it was like 7:00. I remember I was eating dinner, and I'm like, she was asking $2,000, and I'm like, will you take, I think I offered her $1,400. Like, I lowballed her. And she's like, no. And I'm surprised she responded to me back. She's like, I'll take $1,800. That's my lowest. And I'm like, well, I'm in Idaho Falls. I'll drive up tonight and give you $1,600 cash right now. And she said yes. So I want to say that this time was probably like 8:30, maybe even 9, because time had passed since we were messaging.
That seems like an important detail.
Yeah. And I drove my ass all the way over there to Driggs, and I ran the risk of maybe still being a scam. Like maybe this lady's just gonna screw me because she was from Utah. You can tell all her profile, but no, I got that perfect condition.
So what time did you get to her house?
I remember it was like 10, 11 o'clock.
Did you stay the night?
No, I drove back. But he doesn't care.
I don't give
Oh.
a shit about what time it was, dude. That makes no
Yeah,
difference to
but
the story.
that's my hobby: buying and not really selling now. But
Best deal I picked up on Marketplace was a Scotty Cameron putter for fucking $60.
oh shit, that's fucking crazy.
Those used.
Do you know how much a
No,
Scotty
I'm
Cameron
waiting for
putter
it.
goes?
a used Scotty Cameron?
Like $300?
Like
No.
$300 to $400 is a good fucking price for a used one.
And see, that's like the
So
important thing.
the
on-
person selling it had no idea what they had.
No clue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that with Hondas. Like I can see a Honda and see if it's a good deal or not, and I can like memorize prices, and so I know what the market is. So someone asks me like, "Oh, I'm looking at this kind of this," and I'm like, "No, that's a shitty deal, bro. You can find them cheaper, even if you have to drive out."
I'm terrible at that kind of shit.
But I can only do that
I'm
with
good.
Hondas. I
Okay.
can't really
You want
do that
that one?
with other cars.
No, I'm terrible at like anything. It doesn't matter if it's equipment, if it's cars, if it's anything. I have a hard time memorizing names
Really?
of stuff, and models. I'm not very good at that.
Really?
Yeah,
That's why
Like, ask me
Well, like
about-
the knives here, you know.
I don't know the nomenclatures. Like if you tell me the nomenclature, I
You
can,
don't necessarily need to know the nomenclatures.
But if you tell me the nomenclature, I can probably tell you which knife it is, but not the other way around. Not even close.
I don't even have them all memorized.
I mean, I kind of have to. So pretty much any knife that we have, like especially for shows, anytime we got knives on the table, usually I can identify what it is without taking it out of the sheath. I just know that this handle is this, and because it's this sheath, it's got to be that. So if there's handles that are really close to each other, it's like the sheath will give it away or something. Like I don't even have to pull them out for the most
Yeah,
part.
like if you ask me the cats, no idea.
No idea.
I just know that H is Hunter and T is Tanto, so I can kind of guess it, but I don't know if. I think one is the Cryptek, the
Cryptic
Cryptek
Cyber.
whatever, Cyber Cryptic or whatever, and the two is the Bullseye, or backward.
No, that's right.
So if that's right, then I know 'em.
You know 'em.
Then
you
I
do
know 'em.
know 'em.
But
The 200 is the 100 point. The 203 is the Tanto.
yeah, but other than that,
When
like
did those come out? Were you here when they came out?
when did they come out?
Yeah.
the
Cats have been
no.
around since, like, 98.
Yeah,
the
cats have been
Cryptek
around.
and
Like,
Cyber,
there was like the second
2015.
model.
Oh shit.
14, 15.
You've been here 14, 15 years?
No, the Cryptic Cyber and the Rocky Mountain Bullseye handles came out in like 14 or 15.
Are those screws? Do you know if those are screws or are
You
they
mean,
barrel?
screws?
Like the handles.
It's got 2 screws in a barrel.
Why is that some have screws? Is it just design?
What do you mean?
Like you know how some handles are they're rare, but they have 3 screws, and then some have 3 barrels, or some have 2 screws
So-
and 1 barrel.
The barrels,
This is aesthetics.
the barrels don't typically have as strong of a hold as screws do. So that's why we typically default to screws and then a barrel on the end.
Barrels look cool.
Barrels look cool.
Yeah.
The barrel on the end is for a lanyard. There's a lot of cases where you would want to put a lanyard on something. A lot of
Yeah.
people nowadays, they seem to kind of like have fallen away.
Yeah.
But if you got 2 screws and then 1 barrel, that handle's gonna hold. Just
Now
The-
it seems like there's more like decorative. Like people are doing like braided lanyards
Yeah.
with beads on
yeah,
them.
the lanyard
Well,
just
that's
looks
always
cool,
been a
but doesn't
thing.
serve
Yeah.
a purpose.
Well,
The-
it's
the-
more popular than an actual like wrist lanyard.
The beads used to be big, but just the bead. Now it's the
Lanyard and the bead.
like he says, where they do the
I'm-
whatever he said. It was
I
called.
guess what I'm saying is, how cool it'd be to have
Braiding.
like the
Braiding?
cats all screws, and we just sell interchangeable scales on like the custom shop that people can just buy any cat. They're like, oh, this would be badass with carbon fiber handles, for example, and they just unscrew and then place back together.
Because we're a manufacturing facility.
Right. But that's why I said the custom shop. You know what I mean? Because for us, it's not any harder to manufacture hundreds of certain styles and sell them. I know like it's the logistics don't really work, but see what I mean?
well,
Yes. Yes, I do.
But each material has different hardness, so you still have to adjust the
Right.
speeds of the machine. And
But you pick a popular like El Pionero, and you're like, okay, we're offering carbon scales. So you make 150.
no, I'm saying like to switch from say red hand like a red G10 or whatever. I don't know if there's red G10, but
There is.
Red and black.
and all that. That's right. And then you switch it to like a linen, like a purple linen.
right,
and
but then you take the difference in whatever it is.
Oh, I guess we do the solid red on the Camp Creek Fire Edition.
See, like that. Now it's gonna have orange handles because that dicer has orange.
Because
now
of
there's
the-
red,
yeah.
and then
But that has 2 barrels on the end.
oh fuck, you know.
I don't know.
I think that'd be cool.
Can we go back to asking
So-
questions?
We don't have any more questions.
So the answer to that question,
I had a question.
like why, we just don't. Is there's not necessarily a reason not to. However, Leo does like to put a lanyard barrel on pretty much everything. It's more of a safety feature. Like most people aren't walking around like shanking people on the street, like for a job.
Yeah.
And so lanyards help keep you from cutting yourself. So that's why he likes to put a lanyard barrel on pretty much everything.
Right.
That's why most things have screws in a lanyard.
Interesting.
You had a question, Jesus?
Yeah, I did. It's more about the hobby stuff. Like, is there a hobby you wish you could get into, but you don't know where to start? Where you're like, I wish, I should get into this.
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
So you don't have a hobby that
Everything that
restricts
I've like really wanted to try, I'll at least try. You know, maybe I don't get very far, but I can't think of anything I've like really wanted to do, but just never actually tried.
I think with me, it'd be firearms. I work on friends and firearms, but I've actually been seriously thinking about actually getting my gunsmith certification in my spare time, just to be able to do it on a larger scale.
Oh, there you go.
Is that something that's dying away?
I wouldn't say
No.
necessarily dying away. No,
It's probably going the opposite, but the price is probably going way up.
yeah. Like I'm a certified armorer for Smith & Wesson right now. And that'll expire pretty soon. But yeah, I've been really thinking about doing a online gunsmithing school just to have the actual certification.
Damn, that's
But,
great.
but I've got a
You
buddy.
pretty much know how to do it. You just don't have the.
Well, yeah, I've got
to,
a buddy that's a certified gunsmith, and when he gets hung up on stuff, he'll call me and be like, "Hey, man, like, what do I do here? What do I do there?"
Yeah, I thought about getting Adobe certified, but
We found out real quick that doesn't mean shit.
That's fucked up, dude.
no, but seriously, I have thought about it, but
Does anybody care?
nobody gives a fuck, and it's expensive.
Apparently, we did care when that one person came
No.
and they're certified.
It's not that we cared; it's that we didn't know.
What it meant.
And then after finding out, it seems like it doesn't really matter.
It's not easy.
It's not necessarily a bad thing to be certified, but it doesn't
How
necessarily
hard do you
mean that
think it
you're
is,
good at
like
it.
with your knowledge of Adobe?
Dude, I'm telling you, I have a hard time memorizing shit. So there's a bunch of technical stuff that I know how to do.
What?
I know how to do stuff. I just don't know what it's called.
Oh, yeah, but that doesn't matter.
It does when you have to take a test
You
about
should-
it
well,
to get
yeah.
You
certified.
should take
That's
it just
fair
to
enough.
take and see
Yeah.
what you
That's
do.
fair.
But you don't have to take the test. I think that's the point.
I'll give you one.
I don't know. Here.
Fuck the test.
No, never mind.
No, take it.
No.
Take
I was
it.
going to have it give me like a few sample
You have
test
AI.
questions.
You literally have AI.
No, I know, but I'm not going to cheat either.
You already know it. Would you feel bad if? What would you think? What would you think if my friend Raul knew how to use all Adobe programs?
Raul who?
Raul Oregano.
Oregano. Dude, it's easy. Just say Hernandez.
Oh,
There's
Raul
like
Hernandez.
a million things you could have said super
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
Raul Hernandez knows Adobe.
Raul Smith.
And Raul Smith
Pinkleton.
has been using Adobe products since.
Anything could have been better than oregano, dude. That's the point.
So
Oregano's a fucking spice, not a name.
Raul's been around Adobe since the
Okay.
dinosaurs.
Yes.
So
Okay.
he knows.
Yes.
He remembers when version 1 was out. Now to version
Dude, version
whatever.
1 was crazy. You couldn't. There was no undo button. You fucked
Do you
up. You
know?
fucked
Do you
up.
know this
So-
Raul guy?
No.
So
Anyway, go ahead.
Raul, if
Oregano.
Raul knew how to use everything with the back of his hand, but he didn't know the
Terms?
all the terms, but he knows how to use AI, and he's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna type it in AI, take the test. He already knows how to do it.
Yeah.
For over 15 years.
Yeah. Where's your question?
What would you think of that? Would you
Good for
care?
Raul.
Would you care if you?
Well, obviously, Raul's not going to be like, "Hey, I got certified, but I had to use AI to cheat on my test." He's not going to fucking tell you that.
Raul's cheating. You know Raul because you know
How
Raul.
would I know that he's cheating?
Because Raul was your best man for your wedding. Or
Mr. Oregano? There's no
How-
way Mr. Oregano's going to be there.
Raul,
But how?
Raul went to fit in your tux or
Okay, yeah.
Okay, but how would an employer know that unless Raul tells
I
them?
think Mr. Raul's last name's Arellano, huh?
Raul
Yeah.
sounds like a liar and a cheater, and I just don't keep those type
Yeah.
of people in my life.
Yeah, fuck that.
Damn.
That's why we're good friends with Dylan. Because
Right,
he knows
right.
I won't cheat.
So fuck Raul.
Yeah, fuck Raul.
Oh, fuck Raul Oregano Pintico.
He's a cheater.
Pintico? What?
I forgot the other name.
Pinkelton.
Pinkleton. Yeah.
So if there's an
Well, so-
actual Raul Hernandez Pinkerton out there, like
We
Oregon.
apologize, man.
This is
We're not
not
talking
personal.
about you. Yeah, we're not talking about you. And if you do happen to cheat on Adobe test, then good for you. I
best of
guess.
luck, man.
Any similarities
good luck.
to
Yeah.
Anyway, what was your question?
I fucking know. Fucking cheater.
what?
I'm all pissed at him now because he's cheating on his test.
What was your question, though? What was your point of this? What was
would
your
it
point of
matter-
this whole thing? Would it matter? No,
would it
it
even
wouldn't
matter?
matter. I don't give a
Like,
fuck
would
if he
you
knows
give
how to
him-
do it.
Yeah.
But that would be if I was the employer.
Right.
Like if I was employing him, I don't give a fuck if he can do all of it. I don't care. But
Yeah, because
but there's companies that would care
Rule's been around
if they
since
found
the
out that
dinosaurs.
if
and
they found
now-
out he cheated, they probably care just because that's like their thing or whatever. Especially if they have ethics.
So you'd be fucked if Dylan was your employer, but you'd be okay if you were Raul Oregano's Pintico.
Well, that'd be up to Dylan to decide whether he cared or not.
If John was your employer, he'd call you a little bitch, but he wouldn't care. He'd be fine
I
with
wouldn't
it.
give a fuck. I would be cool. I'm like, oh, badass, man. Can you pass mine too?
Did you finish watching Suits yet?
No, I haven't.
I'm far on.
I'm stuck on season 3.
I haven't.
Does it get boring?
I started,
No, it doesn't get boring. It's just I haven't had time to watch it.
but I jumped over to The Boys.
Oh,
Oh, the boy.
The Boys is awesome. I
Pretty
like that.
fucked up, isn't it? Yeah.
Season 1 still or
Yeah, I'm
I haven't
I'm
watched
only
season
a few. I'm only like
Season
2 or
2's
3
not as
episodes
good.
in.
no?
It's still good, but it's not as good.
I would like to go into gold mining if I had a hobby that
Dude, actually that
Mining or panning?
gold mining. Yeah, like actual mining.
Like in
I
a mine.
would start small, like with
Maybe
panning.
start panning.
Why?
I would like to do the metal detector thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
that would
yeah,
that
yeah,
would be
yeah.
fun.
That'd be
kinda
kinda cool.
fun.
That would
Sounds
be
like a
fun.
I'd be
waste
down
of
to do
time.
that.
That's
I would,
probably the
if
least
so,
waste of time.
if I went to a bar tonight
Okay.
and someone that works in Alaska or Canada that's
Okay.
mining and invited me to go and work and teach me,
Oh, please go.
I would probably consider it.
Peace.
Yes.
Peace out.
Well,
later.
Not in a bad way, but I would love to go
No,
work
go.
out.
You have our blessing.
Huh?
Yeah,
Cap what?
No
Cap
cap.
calling
Yeah.
cap.
yeah. See if they'll take your Adobe fucking certification.
Well, I would love to fucking work on a mine.
Dude, I would love
Not
for you to work in
a
the
mine, but like at a mine site. Like working machinery and
Oh,
fucking
that's not mining.
like but for gold.
What the fuck are you talking about? None of what you're saying makes sense.
It does.
gold-
He
have
wants
you
to
guys
drive
never
one of
seen-
those giant
He
Tonka
just
trucks.
wants,
No,
yeah,
no,
but
no,
those
no.
aren't
I
gold
wanna use
mining.
it-
That's
I
not
wanna
gold
use-
mining
That's
equipment.
ore.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's digging up earth in hopes that there's fucking
I wanna go
gold
wash
in the
rocks.
pile of dirt.
That's what I want
that's
to do.
That's
different-
panning.
Wash rocks?
Yeah, that's panning.
It's sluicing.
That's what we said.
It's called sluicing.
No, a sluice is what you put the debris in, and it filters it out.
for those of you,
Fuck.
A fucking gold pan
So what's the difference?
is the first and most primitive version of a sluice.
for those of you that decided to stay during the World War II talk, we apologize for the last
I just want to go to Gold Rush. That's
half
what I want.
hour.
That'd be fun as fuck. dude.
John wants to be some.
You know
wants
what
to be a
other
s-
hobby would be
wants to
cool to get
sluice.
into?
Sluice.
Being being an owner of a pawn shop.
Oh, that'd be
fuck
fun.
that.
Well,
That-
but you would have limited money. You're just doing it for fun.
Yeah, for the fun
Yeah.
part, to see all the stuff that comes through.
I don't
But
know.
it had to be in
It
the
would-
big city.
It would, yeah, I was going to say, it
in
depends on the
Vegas,
area.
maybe.
Yeah.
It depends
Not-
on the area.
Like not in St. Anthony.
No.
That would be boring as shit.
Oh. All you would get is like crocheted.
But like in
items.
Vegas? Having a pawn shop in Vegas?
Yeah.
You'd
Well,
get some
in,
cool
in the
shit.
safe part, not the dangerous part.
Not North Las Vegas.
So,
That's a Mexican side, no?
So you just have to be on
Isn't
the
North
strip.
Las Vegas the more
I
dangerous?
think that's
part
called
of it?
a tianguis. The Mexican side.
No, it's not. That's a flea market.
Yeah, Mexican's flea market pawn shop. It's a mobile pawn shop.
Fair enough.
I do think metal detecting would be fun to
Metal
get into.
metal detecting would
That
be fun.
sounds dumb as fuck.
No, it doesn't.
You want to pan? You want to sluice for gold?
What the fuck do you think
You want to be a
mining
sluicer?
for gold is? You're trying to detect fucking metal.
It's almost the same thing. It's not the same thing.
Yeah, but imagine fucking imagine driving like or operating a crane and like an excavator and trying to instead of being like it's fucking stupid.
I don't even know what to say, John. I don't know what to say. I think that you're wrong.
What?
I
No
think that I
way.
think you have an unrealistic expectation for what people in like an open pit mine
There's
do.
been more significant historical discoveries found by a metal detector than there has been mining for fucking gold.
Bullshit. Google that shit, please.
You Google it. I don't,
I don't
give a
have-
fuck.
I don't have eyesight.
I believe Dylan.
No way. There can be no way possible.
Fine, I'll Google it.
you.
I just want Dylan to be right.
Oh.
What about like
What am I
magnet?
Googling?
What about like magnet fishing?
Oh, did
Have you
see
seen
the
those
ones on
videos
TikTok
lately? Those
that
are
they
pretty cool.
Find a grenade.
Remember those jeans they discovered in a mine, and they're worth like a shitload of money.
Yeah, like
the
some
old
like
school
original
the
fucking
original
Levi's.
Levi's, yeah,
Yeah,
they're worth
millions.
Yeah, they're worth a lot of money. The original jeans. They call it blue gold, don't they? Like blue gold or something like that. What am I Googling?
Historical finds by a metal detector.
Are greater or less than.
I think archaeology would be cool too.
That'd be boring.
Like
You know what would be-
like digging up ruins
When
and
it
shit
can-
like that. That would be
Into
so
the
fucking
pyramid.
It'd be
cool.
boring because like 1% is the finding it, and then 99% is just sitting there with a little brush.
Right.
Are you doing
Yeah,
this?
but see, that's I don't know. I think that would be cool.
In the fucking hot desert.
Yeah, but that's like when you're digging up dinosaur bones.
No
I'm not
AC.
talking about like a paleontologist. I'm talking like
Oh.
digging up ruins.
Did you see that?
Even
that-
worse, you got to do it with the shovel. You can't use big machinery.
I know.
Did you see that?
You get to go into crazy places.
Once you dig it up,
Did I see what?
That show on Netflix, that Egypt show, where they found a tomb that's intact, like completely, like everything's still in there.
I don't think so.
Yeah, check it out. Historical finds via metal detector versus mining, right?
Yep.
yep.
Sure. But yeah, and then they discovered
What'd it say?
it's thinking.
Oh, fuck. Hey, no, it's done thinking.
No, it's still writing. So they discovered a new what would it be, like a city, a Mayan city in Mexico? Because you know how they're doing
in Mexico.
you know how
Yeah,
they're doing
the LiDAR thing.
the LiDAR thing, and they're doing that Tren Maya, that they're making that.
Did you see the new Transformers? They did a lot of that.
Oh my god.
They found a hidden city underground in a cave. In Transformers.
I think what they there's a show that I used to watch called
So
Lay it on him.
I'm laying it on you, man. There's
Why?
like it's not comparable. Metal detecting is a controlled and selective method of finding artifacts that can contribute to our understanding of the past. Mining is just invasive and destructive.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that they found more shit.
Yeah, it does, because you destroy it as you're mining.
Who gives a fuck?
So you can't find anything.
You got to pull it out of the ground regardless.
Not
If you find
you don't
it,
have to destroy it though, John.
that's-
You don't have to.
it's not the same thing.
it's like saying, okay,
If all you're trying to do is
Wait,
dig
hold-
out the lithium,
okay,
so
let
that
him-
you can
let him-
make
this is
batteries.
exactly
Let him
This is
explain.
exactly the same.
Okay, go.
This is a 100-acre
This ought to be
field.
good.
My phone represents a 100-acre field.
Okay.
You're saying that if I go with the metal detector and I pinpoint, ping, ping,
Yep,
ping, ping,
yep.
that I'm gonna get more gold if I rip the whole fucker
No,
out.
No,
that's not at all what
Well, that's
was.
what the
We're
whole-
not talking about
You're
gold
talking
specifically.
about two
We're
different
talking
things.
about
Yeah.
items of historical value.
Yeah. So
Cool.
in your fucking example, that ping ping ping. Oh, here's something. You dig. Oh, look, a phone. In the other example,
Did you hear about? And I forget how recent it was, but
then you find little
in,
parts
in
of your phone.
Kentucky. In Kentucky,
Whatever.
recently there was a huge fucking Confederate coin stash that was found in a farmer's field.
yeah. No.
And how did he find it?
with a fucking metal detector.
Now, if they had it blown it up,
If they had dug it up to try to get the gold from
Like
underneath,
millions
all
of
that would
dollars
have
worth of
been-
fucking Confederate coins, gold
disappeared.
coins in mint condition.
another
Whatever.
smart question.
I'll let you win this one.
Oh, you'll let him?
You
Oh,
won
yeah.
by
okay.
default.
It was,
It was,
it was still up to you.
That shit, that currency is no longer
Can
valid.
we have an episode where we debate?
No,
We should.
because fucking you guys suck at debating. You guys always think you're right.
Dude, we have to debate. But I
Okay.
want to be on Dylan's
What
team.
did John
or your
just
team.
say?
No, what the fuck?
I don't want to be on your team.
Brown people, bro.
John, you get
You're not
like
brown.
totally, yeah, you
Okay,
get
okay.
totally off. Like you two are arguing here, and you're talking apples and oranges, and you're like, you're convinced that you're right because you're not even talking about the same fucking thing.
Okay, the best one for debate 101
You
because
just use Transformers as a fucking point of argument. So that should shut down any fucking debate right there.
yeah.
I took
Hold on.
debate
We need to-
101.
we need to
and
do a
the
sample
best,
question.
And the best sample question is, what's better, chunky peanut butter or creamy peanut butter?
Creamy.
Creamy all
And
day.
why?
Because it's creamy. And
Well, that's why I'm telling you, it's perfect.
Because if you have,
it's got a great consistency, and it just
Well,
melts.
no, I'm
and
not-
it's in the name,
it's
butter.
Butter. Yep.
Okay,
Well,
the butter I put on my toast is creamy.
right.
It's not
But
chunky.
You're picking a side already. We can't pick sides. We have to
You
randomly.
literally just fucking asked me
Yes.
why.
No, but I'm not telling you. I'm telling you the
Yeah,
perfect
but that's not
question.
how debate works.
The perfect question is you get two.
The debate works. You have to. You don't pick which side you're on.
Yeah, what if
fair
you're
enough.
crunchy?
The side is picked for you, and then you have to argue.
Okay,
for or
are you
against.
for crunchy?
Yeah, are you for crunchy?
No.
Fuck you guys.
That's the fucking point. Let's
I don't
pull
think
strings.
I don't think John knows shit about debates.
I do. I took debate 101, and that was the only time I ever.
Okay,
took debate.
here's a debate, and this is John versus Dylan.
No, wait. Who gets what?
Should video games be considered a sport? But first, say what
Fuck
you think.
no.
Say what you think. Should video games be considered a sport?
I'm kind of on the fence on that, but I'm going to go with no.
I say yes.
I'm with John on this one.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm with John on this
No.
one.
The Browns versus the Wetskins.
You can't call us Browns.
the Wetskins.
Sorry, we're the
What
Wetskins,
fuck?
and
What?
you guys are the Whites. I apologize.
We'd be more Wetskins than they
We are
would be. So
Wetskins.
shut
Sorry,
the fuck
I
up.
apologize. Wetskins and we're Whites. Right?
Sure.
Can we call that?
No, John, that's fucking racist.
I
it
think it should
really?
be a sport. I think it should be a
It
sport.
is a sport.
It is a sport already.
It is a sport, and I'll tell you why.
What classifies it as a sport, John?
After you guys tell me why you guys don't.
No.
Because it is physical.
How do you classify it as a sport?
I classify it as a
So
sport
I
because it
cancel
is
it because
physical.
it's
I'll let
two
you
things,
debate
two things.
on our behalf.
Two things.
I'll shut the fuck up.
Three things it takes mental skill, physical skill, and just skill in general.
It does not take physical skill.
Yes, it does.
It does.
It
No,
does.
it does not.
Unless
It
it's
does.
fucking
Yes, it
Dance
does.
Dance Revolution.
No, but
It does
we're
take
not talking
physical
about a
skill.
No, it
specific.
doesn't.
We're,
It
we're
does
not
take
talking
All you
about
have
a
to do is move your
specific.
fucking thumbs.
But you have to
Doesn't
do them
matter.
in a certain way.
For a certain time,
and you
it
have
has
to
to be
you have
coordinated.
It
you
takes
have to be
coordination, but
you
that
have
does
to have
not mean
dexterity.
that
And
it
you have to be
takes
me-
physical skill.
memorizing.
That's physical skill.
Your reflexes are always on. Have to be on point. Same thing as soccer. Your reflexes have obviously it's more fatiguing for the body, but your reflexes, your what's it called when your
Of course,
time to
John would say it's physical.
Reaction
Yeah.
time.
Your
Yeah.
reaction time, all that is the same thing as that. That's why esports.
Agreed. Cheerleading requires all of those same things,
Yeah,
but
that's
that's
why
not a
it's a-
fucking
it is a
sport,
sport.
either.
It is a
It's
sport,
not.
too.
It is.
It's not.
It is. There's
It's not.
cheerleading competitions.
Yeah,
Ask
but those
this-
cheerleading
ask this
nobody watches
motherfucker.
them.
Well, that's
Doesn't
irrelevant.
matter.
Nobody watches them.
That doesn't
people
matter.
People do not go to cheerleading competitions. They go to sporting events where there are cheerleaders present.
I didn't say it was a good sport.
I'd go to a cheerleading.
But it's still-
Golf is
technically
not a
a
sport
sport.
either.
Golf is a sport.
Golf is a skill.
It's a
So it's
sport.
video games. It's like you're saying like,
Exactly. Video games are a skill, not a sport.
but it's
I would
it's
say
called
golf is a sport.
esports.
I know you would.
There's a thing called esports.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah, so it is.
So just because one person said so makes it true. That's not how a debate
Milli-
works, John.
millions
But
of
that's how
people-
exactly how it
Millions.
works in John's head.
millions
Yeah,
of
of
people
course.
believe the same thing. I already gave you my reasons why
I
it's
believe video
considered
games
sports.
is
I don't
a
see it as a
sport.
sport.
Why do you not see it as a sport?
I see sports as physically strenuous activities
It is
that
physically
have
strenuous.
a
Okay,
that have
I'll give you that. It's video games are not physically strenuous.
Yes, they are.
Well, your thumb might hurt.
Because you have to
your
practice.
ass is gonna hurt for sitting down for
You have to
3 hours in
practice.
front of your screen.
Your head might hurt,
your head, your body.
but it's not as strenuous. Like it's not gonna take your you're not gonna be out of breath. It's not that.
It depends on how you define the word, really. I mean,
But it is
like,
physical.
Anything that has any type of competition aspect to it, you could classify as a sport.
Yeah.
You could classify chess as a sport based on the same exact.
Yeah.
It is a sport.
Did you ever hear?
But I don't see it as a sport.
Did you
Are-
ever
are-
hear O&A's thing on a sport where they're like golf can be? He's like golf can be a sport if at any point during your swing somebody can run up and tackle you.
Oh yeah, yeah. You actually sent me
Yeah,
a
that
link to
was
that once. I think
fucking
that
hilarious.
was funny.
You have answered the question.
Is like a full ride scholarship for video gaming a thing?
Probably
for
probably
school-
now.
Not yet.
For school,
but
probably
it
not.
Could be.
Maybe
So,
development.
Because there's full ride scholarships for athletics
so you can get
to get into sports.
You can
like
get high-
real sports.
You can get-
Football,
get paid
baseball,
for teams.
basketball.
So you can
You
You can
get
do it
a
for cheerleading
scouted.
too.
you can get a full ride scholarship for developing like video game development.
Okay, but that's not.
But you can get
Playing
hired.
video
You can
games.
get
Playing- I
hired
don't
by
know.
an
That's
organization.
computer programming.
I don't know it anymore.
I don't know.
but
I
they
wouldn't
do.
be, I wouldn't be surprised
but-
if there are classes.
But they do fill stadiums
They do, yeah.
You get hired
during
like,
video game matches.
There's teams
Millions of
and
people watch
organizations.
other people
so
play
the team
video
can
games.
scout you.
We're
and
debating against this.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
So yes, it is
But yeah.
considered maybe not like in a college level, but maybe in like you have your
I'm just
NFL.
saying, a
Yes.
sport.
Yes, because you have teams that you get hired, you get scouted to be part of these
You-
teams.
you are in
have to
teams,
train as a team, and then you get whatever game or whatever you're in, you have to compete
So you guys out
with by
there,
the teams.
write down in the comments who won this debate.
So yes. It's
'Cause I
it's
don't-
just
I
like
don't
maybe there's not like a college level for like, oh, you get a full ride to school, but like you get drafted as a kid to go into like the NFL for the video games. So you going on the team, you can get kicked off the team, you get paid to be on the team.
During debates, can you use Google?
They have the NFL.
I think like in official debates, you
No.
have to have your material
Ready. Oh,
ready,
okay.
but you also don't get the topic
No, yeah, of
on the
course.
spot either.
Yeah.
But like the way it would have worked is they would have been like, okay, here's the topic, and then they'll pick a name and be like, you're going to argue for, you're going to argue against, and then there's certain rules with how you have to make your arguments.
Yep. You have to answer in questions. What is an esport?
So I guess it depends on how you define the word sport. Like that would probably be the first thing that people arguing for or against would be like, well, according to Merriam-Webster, the definition of sport is this, and they would read it and then they would use that as a way to prove their point.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
According
Well, thank you for that.
to Einstein,
So, a sport is a form of physical activity that involves skill, competition, and entertainment. So, technically,
Physical.
yeah, we just went over.
we
it.
went over that. It is physical.
Okay, but if you two were playing,
It doesn't say how much physical.
Look, if you can get fat playing the sport, then it's not a fucking sport.
Then baseball's
okay?
not a sport.
Baseball's not a sport. I agree
Yeah.
with you.
golf
Baseball's
is in the
fucking dumb.
sport.
But baseball,
Actually, there is some running involved in baseball,
but
but
not a lot. But you can have somebody run for you, no? Isn't it?
yeah, actually, yes. You still have to run to first yourself,
For first,
but after that,
you're done.
yep. Really? You can
Yeah.
sit back down.
Is that pinch?
That's what a designated
pinch
runner
runner
is.
Pinch runner? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
That's
designated hitter, and then
Designated,
a pinch. Yeah.
punch runner.
well, it's even called a pinch hitter.
Their take
Designated
was,
hitter and a pinch hitter are different, aren't they?
if you can play your sport in pajamas, then it's not a sport. Is what they.
Yeah, if your mom can bring you a fucking hot pocket
She can bring it to you during golf.
in the middle of your fucking tournament,
Shit, no, your mom is not
I
bringing
think-
you a hot
I
pocket
think
on the
about
golf
tennis.
course.
I think Dylan just won the debate. for his
Tennis is
team.
one of the hardest fucking
Yeah,
games on the
but
planet.
your mom can bring you a hot pocket.
No, she can't.
No,
Yes,
she cannot.
can.
No.
She can literally bring it
She
to
would
you.
get kicked off the fucking court.
Same thing as
John?
football. You can be sitting on the bench.
If you can play it from the chair next to your bed.
Oh fuck! She
it's
fucking
not
get
a
hit by
fucking
a
sport.
tennis ball. She's running with it.
Now,
Yeah, you can't stop playing.
During
man.
professional competition, though, your mom cannot bring you a hot pocket.
Yep. She ain't gonna bring it to you in the stadium.
Yeah.
yeah, because you're
Full of
playing a real sport.
Yeah, you're playing video games in
But
stadiums.
if you're competing in your video game tournament in the fucking basement, guess what? You
Well,
get
what if
hot
I'm
pockets
training?
and Doritos for days, bro.
Also, if you're on a T-ball, like if you're like in the little Sunday league,
They do bring
that
you
doesn't
Hot
count.
Pockets
That doesn't
and
really
Capri
count.
Dude, you get orange slices and Capri Suns after
I
after the game. You don't get it during. Mom can't run out to center field while you're fucking fielding
halftime.
a fly ball.
That's
halftime.
all up to the player.
Oh, bullshit.
Hey,
Yeah.
isn't getting mad during a debate doesn't that make
Yep.
mean
That
you're out?
disqualified
That
Dylan and
disqualifies
Craig
you?
from the beginning.
I don't think so.
It
I
does.
think that
Who got mad?
you have to like watch your
You.
language and,
That's just
and
his
your
normal
and your
that's
tone of
just his
voice.
normal
but
voice.
So yeah.
I'm sure that there are rules for disqualification.
Yeah, well, we just disqualified you guys.
Like swearing at telling John that he's a fucking idiot would probably disqualify.
No,
him.
his if your mom can bring you a hot pocket one.
that was.
fair
I think
enough.
we win because of that.
Yeah.
Well, say it in the comments.
You should kiss each other.
I think technically
Why do you want to see that?
video
John?
games is a sport, so
Why-
I think we win. But
Would that
Press that button.
would that make
The one
you
button.
which one?
happy?
The other one.
Would that make you happy to see us
Yes.
kiss? Would it make you?
West Side Show.
Would it make you?
Other one.
Would it make you horny?
No. Press the other button.
That's my favorite button now.
to the West Side Show.
Not that one. The other one.
I don't have another one.
Good job.
Other
That
one.
one was for you.
There's 8 fucking buttons.
Would you rather get your ass probed?
That's
I don't know why you would. I would. I
Please
don't get it.
kiss.
What was the other part of that question?
I forgot.
Or
Or get kissed.
Oh.
Or kissed. So kiss him. Or get probed. Either or.
I'm lost.
What the fuck happened?
I don't know, dude.
John. So I think the definition.
Can
of
I
sport,
be on a different
No,
person's team?
you're-
Yes, I think the definition of sport has
Remember-
changed over the years, and it's a lot more broad than it used to
Yeah.
be. because there's a lot
'Cause of
more
video games.
activities that are popular enough that you kind of have to classify them as a sport.
What would make chess a sport? If the pieces were really heavy,
Or they were doing on a treadmill.
and you had to like carry them like a strongman competition.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing. Like, is a game a sport? Are all games sports?
Monopoly.
There's no physical activity needed except for
You could rank all the chess pieces, like on a scale of like 1 to 5.
they already are.
Every time you lose a piece, you have to do burpees.
Yeah, so like
Oh, okay.
so like if I take
Dude, that would suck.
if I
do that.
if
We
I
should
take
do
your
that.
pawn, I also get to like punch you in the face once.
Oh, shit.
If I
Damn.
take your rook, I get to punch you 3 times.
5.
And if he
5,
takes your
yeah.
king, he gets a
But you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
When you win, he gets to knock you the fuck out.
yeah.
Dang, that would suck.
That would suck. You have to stand there.
I would
and
never
if-
play chess
if you,
again.
If you get hit,
so you have
to get up.
Yeah.
that-
So you have to win the game before you get knocked out.
That'd be crazy.
Damn.
We should play a version of chess, but not that one. I don't like that one. But with the point system, that's not bad.
Do push-ups or burpees or something every time you lose a
No,
piece.
no.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Smack the shit out
Yep.
of somebody.
Yep, burpees.
The smacking wouldn't.
We're gonna implement that now, Jesus. Every
Dude,
time you lose a piece, you have to do burpees.
What
Dude,
if you
we're gonna
knock
be
him? What if you
lean.
knock him
that
out?
last game
on
where
the
we
first
lost
lap?
every single
Every
piece?
single piece.
What if you win? Is that like 100 or what?
Then the other guy has to do 10 burpees.
10. Winning is 10 or 20.
What's
Well, the
what's
queen's
queen?
9.
The queen is 9.
Yeah.
So 15 burpees.
15.
Then. Yeah.
That sounds fucking sucks.
That would suck. Yeah.
Maybe because we're
I
fat.
think we need to get really good at chess real fast. I'll play you.
Or just get good at
Pass.
burpees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chess
You know what?
sounds
That's a good
easier.
point. That's a good point, Dylan.
Chess sounds a lot more easier. Well, it is that time of day, guys.
So I think we win.
Sure.
Just
Let
because
us know.
just because of Dylan's comment.
Let us know who won. Dylan's comment would give
That was pretty
would
epic.
give me a point to him, but I'm on the team that's gonna lose if I do that. So
I mean, in
You
all
can, you
honesty,
can always
in all honesty,
Be a traitor?
nowadays,
join the winning team.
fuck yeah.
in all honesty, nowadays it's a fucking sport.
And get pegged.
Sports are you can get paid to do it.
Yeah.
People will watch you do it.
Yeah.
There is competition. You have to have hand-eye coordination. I think they've proved
Yeah,
that
it's fucking crazy.
that video games help hand-eye coordination, especially with like ADHD kids, and
Motor
things like that.
functions.
That might be my son's sport.
you
Then
know,
my
so-
son's really good at video games.
So yes, like
As
My-
a 5-year-old, he's insanely good for a 5-year-old.
My
so
youngest
I would like
is
to say that it's
way.
not a sport,
Yeah.
but depending on how you define it,
Yeah, no,
probably a
at the end
sport.
of the day, it actually is.
Yeah.
But
Oh, thank you. We won.
no.
No.
No,
The
the
debate's
debate
different.
was.
Oh,
debate
oh,
was-
yeah,
oh,
Dylan owned you.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Dylan did own you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Us, but I was like you. But I did give him the weapon.
Because John's mom is going to bring the hot pocket, not your mom.
Yeah, we asked, should it be,
Yeah.
not is it?
I brought the weapon and Dylan took it from me and fucking beat the fuck out of us with it.
At least it's both of us.
I was like, look, I found this, and Dylan took it. And
Oh, neat. Let me see
Yeah.
that.
John, at least it wasn't just me this time.
Well, do you have a cool outro?
you got the brunt of it.
It's the same, isn't it?
And
I don't-
that's a wrap.
No, that's not it.
Letting the record.
So
right.
we're done. So
Yes.
don't forget to follow us on all our social media.
blank.
We do have we still have our sponsor Tops Knives. So make
haven't
sure to
dropped us
go
yet.
to topsknives.com. We have some folders that are available, and we still have merch.
We still have merch.
We still have
Shot
stuff
glasses.
that we need to get rid of.
Leave a review wherever you listen, whether you listen on
Yeah.
Spotify or
It doesn't even
Apple.
have,
Leave
doesn't
us a
even
review.
Have to be a good review, but it should because
We have a lot of 5 stars on iTunes.
Good.
we do.
Good.
Or
follow us,
Apple
follow us
Podcasts.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let us know what type of content you want to see.
We'll have
So
we'll
the-
have the
We can ignore it.
nuclear rocket scientist guy on again soon.
Oh yeah. So if you have questions for him, let us know.
Yeah, hit us up with questions for him, and then we'll have we've had a lot of guests on recently. We're going to try and keep that going as much as possible.
Did you like my alien guest?
Yes.
Dude, that thing came out pretty realistic. I have him wearing a top shirt too,
Nice.
but I haven't showed it to anyone.
Nice.
Nice. Well, thank you for joining us, Dylan.
My pleasure.
And see you guys next time.
See, he sat where Dylan sat.
I dig it.
Okay, later, guys.
Okay. Bye.
By the way, John, you made that outro way too fucking long.
You told me to.
It's still going.
You told me make the outro long so I can just fade it down. I'm like,
No,
okay.
the intro.
Oh,
the intro.
The intro was too long.
Oh yeah,
No, the intro is perfect.
the intro is still too long.
Yeah. No, the intro's fine.
How long is it?
I don't know, but
30 seconds.
no, the intro's fine. It's the outro. The intro's actually a tiny bit shorter.
You literally told me make the outro long.
No, the intro.
Make the intro.